Retain gang, what's poppin', man? This your boy Tay, back at y'all again with another video, man. Peace, love, and abundance to everybody watching right now. Before we start the video, make sure you guys follow me on all my socials, man. Take some time out to smash that like button, and while you're doing that, I have a community. If you guys didn't see my community tab, I just created the Retain Gang community. It's on School, SKOOL. I'll leave my link in my description. Man, I'm only taking 50 members right now, right? Because I want to keep the community tight. That way I know people that are joining are serious about becoming a better version of themselves, right? We don't want imposters. We don't want people that's not going to add value. All right. So if you're serious about being the best version of yourself, I want you to join. I want you to tell your experiences, your mistakes, and your success. That way you can help others and we grow as a community, right? So I'll leave my link in my description and in my pinned comments. We're going to have newsletters. We're going to have weekly Zoom calls with all the members, programs, right? Exclusive content. So, man, it's going to be a beautiful thing. Something I worked very hard on, man. So if you're interested, like I said, go ahead and join. Click that link in my description. It's called School, all right? So with that being said, this was actually a question I got from a guy. And he wants to know, is smoking every day bad for you, right? Does it hinder your journey? So I think this is a great topic, and I can kind of relate to this because I was like this in the past. You know, I used to smoke every single day. I'm talking multiple times a day, you know? And before I even start my rant, before I start yapping, I just want to let you know that I don't look at things from a black and white perspective, right? I like to get all the details. So I'm not going to tell you it's good or it's bad. So I'm not going to tell you that it's good or it's bad, right? That's not my decision. It's not for me to decide what's good for you in your life. What I am going to do, though, is give you my experience and give you kind of a bird's eye view of the situation. All right. So based on my experience, it did slow me down. Every single day, it slowed me down, right? And the reason why was because, you know, I felt no need or no reason for me to get up and get on my grind because I was already relaxed. I was already getting that pleasure, that instant gratification. So it slowed me down in the sense that I didn't have that drive, that fire to go after my goals, you know? And like I said, it's different from person to person. For me, it became a vice for a part of my life, you know, but I can't just sit up here and say my experience is everybody else's because everybody is different and it's all about context. What are you using it for? What's the reason? You got to ask yourself that. Why do I use this substance? How is it helping me? You know, or how is it hurting me? You see, ask those questions. I used to work in a pharmacy. And we would have people that had chronic back problems and pains, you know, just getting over surgery. And we would prescribe them the medical, you see, and they would say that it helped them out a lot. The medical helped them get over their pains. So in that sense, you know, it's helpful. You got to remember that this is a herb. So it has medicinal properties. It has healing properties, but it's in the context of how you're using it. Because just because it's something that can heal you, you still can abuse it, right? And I think that's the problem with today's world is that, you know, there was a time where these things were sacred, right? They would have rituals and ceremonies where everybody knows about the peace pipe. They would sit around the fire and hit the peace pipe and they would speak to the spirits because it taps you into the spiritual world. It opens you up. But see, now today, we have no discipline when it comes to these substances, right? Everybody's just using it. A lot of things that we do became socially normal. SEX, all these things. And we never got taught the real knowledge behind why and what they are and what they do and how they affect us. You see, when you smoke, man, it opens you up to the spiritual realm. This is why people get paranoid sometimes when they smoke or they get creative. You start thinking different. You know, you start connecting dots that you didn't connect before. And this is because it opens up your spirit body. So You got to understand what you're doing. And if you're not doing it in the right context for the right reasons, it can be damaging for you. It can damage you. It can be destructive. All right. Some people do it to escape their problems. And I don't necessarily think that's a good idea to use it for, right? Because you want to tackle your problems head on. Some people use it to be creative. Some people use it for recreational. You know, it's all in context. But I'm not going to sit up here and say that it doesn't help folks, because some people, they can come home, light one up, and be cool, right? That's their peace. That's how they find their balance. Who am I to say that it doesn't work for somebody in that way? You know, for some others, it can be a vice. It can really hold them back and stop them from pursuing their dreams and their goals, from handling their business. You get what I'm saying? So I say all this to say, you got to know yourself. You got to know who you are. You know, you can ask me, you can ask anybody, is it good for you? But when it's all said and done, you got to know that for yourself. This is why I always say in my videos, know yourself, gain self-knowledge and self-awareness so that you know how to move in this world. Because what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. We are all having our own experience here, and we get to choose what we want to experience. So it would be wrong for me to tell you that you shouldn't do this because I don't do it. No. You got to make your mind up. You got to know what's right for you in your life. Tap in. You know, you can feel it. You know in your gut if you're doing something wrong or if you're doing something right. You already know the answers. You don't got to ask me this question. Right? So get in the habit of knowing yourself. Because just because it's advice for somebody else, advice for me, don't mean it's advice for you. You got some people who can smoke once and don't do it again for months or years. You got some people who can't stop doing it. Is it destructive or is it helpful in your life? But I also want to add that you don't want to rely on something that's outside of you to give you peace and to give you happiness, right? Because now you become attached to that substance, and this is when you become addicted. This is when problems start. Make sure that you're always in control, 100%, right? Be in control of what you do. Don't let something control you, because you got people out here that can't function without it. Just like some people can't function without their cup of coffee in the AM. They got to have that coffee to function. They got an attitude, you know, they're angry. They can't work. They can't work efficiently. You don't want to be that person. Make sure that whatever you do, you're in control. And you're not doing it because you're looking for instant gratification. You're not doing it because it's a habit. A lot of us are just doing things off a habit, off a routine, right? You're not really conscious of you doing it. You're just doing it because it's been a few weeks or a few months, and that's a part of your routine now. So you need to decipher yourself and make sure that you're doing it because you're in control. Make sure that it's helping you in your life as well. My rule is always, if something is becoming destructive in my life, I'm cutting it off. People, places, and things. If it's not helping me and if it's making me go backwards, I'm gonna cut it off because I don't need that energy in my life. Okay? Now, you being on a spiritual path, you being on a journey to better yourself, become the best version of yourself, you can't have anything holding you back. You see what I'm saying? You got to be responsible. You got to be in control of yourself at all times. When I used to do it all the time, bro, like I'm telling you, it put me in a dark place because I was looking at the corn heavy. I was releasing my energy and I was very docile. Right? Now, it does calm you down to the point where you stop worrying about worldly things. But at the same time, doing it too much, and I just stopped caring about anything. I let people walk all over me, talk to me crazy. You know, it was getting very bad. So I had to cut it off. And once I did that, man, I felt refreshed. I felt like my dopamine receptors got to heal. My mind got to heal. I started to get pleasure from the small things, right? Because sometimes you got to understand, guys, you can burn out your dopamine receptors by overindulging in instant gratification. You see what I'm saying? You can overindulge in things to the point where now this is the only thing that can bring you happiness. The small things that you should be grateful for don't even please you anymore, because you're so used to this big hit of dopamine every single day. And you don't want to fall in that cycle, man. You get what I'm saying? So if you are someone who indulges, right, this is my homework for you. I need you to sit down with yourself and ask yourself, why do you do it? Why do I do this? Is it helpful? How is it helping me? Make a list of how it's helping you out, right? And then write a list on how is it hurting you. And I want you to compare the two. And if you feel like it's something that's helping you more than it's hurting you, or if it's hurting you more than it's helping you, you got to make a decision. All right? So just know yourself. Figure out why you're doing it every single day. And I'm going to leave you with this, man. Don't let anything hinder your spiritual journey. Don't let anything hinder you becoming your best version. Nothing. Right? You got to cut it off, because you can't afford to go backwards. Okay? You can't afford to go backwards. The same feeling you can get from that substance, you can get from yourself. You can get high off life, but you got to know how to tap into that frequency. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's good or bad. If it works for you, it works for you, right? Be your own boss. Be your own decider in life. But know the consequences. Know the pros and the cons, okay? So with that being said, guys, like I said, I got my link from my community. It's called School. So if you're interested, I'm taking 50 people. Go ahead, man, because it's going to fill up fast. Click that link and join. All right? Make sure you follow me on all my socials. Leave a comment if you have any questions or concerns. With that being said, y'all have a beautiful day, and I'm out. Peace.